than going to all this trouble and it's not actually being where it needs to be. Thinking about it. Yay! There we are. Hey,
Just getting
Artie,
my
how are you today?
phone. Hi, good afternoon, Danny. How are you?
I am pretty good today. I didn't sleep very well, unfortunately, but I made a choice this morning that I'm going to have a good day.
Wonderful. That's the beginning of the day, actually. Just reframing your mind. That's wonderful.
Yeah, and glad that we've got you on to maybe go a little bit more into this topic. So, thank you everybody for joining us for this Lunch and Learn today. Um, if you're there and you can see us and hear us, please just leave a comment so that we know you guys are there. And I'd love to hear your questions for Artie, who will introduce herself in a second. Just tell us what you're up to, tell us what you're feeling, what you're going through, and then we can use some of those as examples and questions for us to kind of speak to throughout the conversation. So yeah, do feel free in the comments to let us know that you're there and what's kind of happening with you at the moment. How are you? Just checking in so we can kind of use some of those thoughts and threads for our conversation. So Arthea is a good friend of the Safe Space team. She has kindly helped us in the community so much and hosted a really great session for us there. In the good old days, we refer to them as, at our Tanya's Tea House sessions. So I really wanted to give the space, give the floor to Artie today so we can have a catch up and talk about what are some of the useful things that we can kind of be doing, saying at the moment that will be productive and helpful for us, because I think it's good to get a little bit practical on these matters. So Artie, tell us, introduce yourself to the Safe Space social team so we all know who you are.
That's good. So, Danny, good to see you finally after many, many weeks altogether. I'm a hypnotherapist. I am an NLP coach. I also teach NLP and hypnosis as a certificate instructor. And I do a lot of other things. I mean, the list goes on, but let's just keep it to this one for now. I have a company called Potential Unlimited, and I love doing what I do. So that's how the life goes on like that. Uh, See that life has changed for us, for all of us, in many, 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 many different ways. And what is, as I always say that, in my consulting also, that what we can really do is to manage our inner world. There is very little that we can do to manage outside world. Now things are not in control. We can't go out and the whole 9 yards of not doing so many things that we used to do before, and we miss many part of that life. But what is important is that how you feel about something and how you respond, because that's all that you can have in your control. And how wonderful it is that you are in control of at least that aspect of your life. And that's what I kind of emphasize in my online consultation that I do. And people go with that happy reframe and mindset that things just work as well in indoors for them. Now, one thing I would like to really emphasize here is that I see, I mean, I'm on social media and I see that a lot of people get into many, many things. They want to write books, they want to be on lots of webinars, they want to connect with the family and the friends all over the world, read this, read that, online courses. Now, yes, we miss our world outside, but don't replicate. Don't replicate what you used to do outside now to what you can do just inside. Because I think I believe in the universal energy and the messages that you get and all. So this is a message to the whole humanity that slow down, reflect on your life, reflect on what you were doing. What is one thing that you can change in your life that will change the world outside. So this is a time for reflection. This is what I believe, rather than just replicating what you used to do outside and now just doing it inside because you just want to be happy and be in control. But just slow down. because
Yeah.
slowing down will help you mentally and emotionally.
I
So
think
this
that's
is what I think I would like to, emphasize here.
I think that's a
Being
really
indoors.
important part to start with, isn't it? Because we are hearing a lot of information or information kind of overload because we don't particularly have anything else right now. So maybe a lot of comparisons. I'm feeling very much that you're speaking to my core right now, Artie, because I am doing a lot right now in these things, and probably at the beginning, maybe more so than now. So I signed up to my Udemy course, which I've not really done very much work on, and making like I think it's that again that loss of what was, so trying to kind of make sure that we feel that we're doing the same thing. So that's really been sort of a very powerful thing that I'm already taking from our conversation just now, and that's something that from tomorrow. Let me get today out of the way.
Of course, that's always, your choice, what you want to do, and that's the best part of it. We always can choose, what we want to do. So I hope people are with us right now, so that we can begin on our topic for today, so that they get the best benefit out of it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think there are a couple of people watching. Maybe they're on their lunch break. They're just kind of keeping in the shadows. So yeah, if there is anybody with any questions, anything, just let us know what's going on with you right now. Just post a statement of how what you're up to, what you're feeling, and then we can use that to guide some of the conversation. I suppose we've been doing a lot of work with corporate teams. There's been lots of like words that people are using. So feeling trapped. What that seems to be a real kind of feeling, claustrophobic and enclosed. So kind of what's going on for them with sort of taking that as maybe our first thing that is coming through for a lot of people right now.
True, true. Can we just take it that little bit, later? I mean, in
Mm.
terms of how you can reframe that one. Is that all right?
Yeah, for sure. That would be a good example for later on.
Wonderful. So I'm going to refer to some of the notes, because if I like visual, referrals, otherwise I can just talk about anything. And I just want to avoid that. Okay, so I mean, we are going to today talk about NLP and reframing, or NLP reframing. Now, NLP is a word that many people are familiar with, what it is. But let me just give you a little bit about it. That, NLP is a unique model of how people learn and motivate themselves and change through the behavior and achieve excellence in their life.
Mhm.
So this is all about have you learn, have you shift, have you change, and how have you motivate with modeling yourself or others. So how wonderful this whole idea is, that you can even model yourself. It isn't, you can copy yourself, to learn and change. So this is the basic tenet of NLP, and this is what NLP does for you. So what is NLP reframing? Now, it's just like a photo frame or a movie frame. We have a frame which has a meaning, which has colors, and which has a shape, and which has sounds and all that. Now we human beings learn in this way. Yeah, we learn with the sound, the color, the shape, the picture itself, the image, you know the feelings that is there in a movie or something. We learn this way. Now NLP reframing is all about changing that frame into another frame that suits you the best. Yeah, like for example, you said trapped, that
Mhm.
people are feeling trapped in their own house. Now from being trapped in their own house, if you begin to tell yourself as I'm in my own space.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm in my own space. We all need our space, isn't it? Yeah, I'm in my own space. This simple reframe of being from trapped to I'm in my own space is a wonderful way of changing your mindset about it. Because
Mhm.
now everything else which is around you, the walls, the paintings, the pictures in your home, the places, all the corners in your home is now your own space. And then you can start to reorganize if you want to reorganize your space, in any way you like it. So this is how you can be in control of, rather than being feeling trapped inside the house. And as I said, as we were talking earlier, that it's all about managing your inner world. Yeah, this is the reality for us. You can't go out, it's not safe, it's not even legal. If you go out, there are fines and things like that. So being frustrated is a choice. Yeah, so rather than that, you manage your inner space now. Yeah, the space that you are living in. So
Yeah.
this is how NLP reframing work. It's the same thing, same house, but now you begin to change and think about it in a different way. So this is what NLP reframing is all about.
Can I ask a quick question?
NLP reframing. Sorry.
Can I ask a quick question? I think this is something
Sure.
that it took a little while to get right in my head, and maybe people think the same. So when you say that our frustration is a choice, I think sometimes that doesn't feel like it is a choice, or it kind of feels so overwhelming that how can it be? How am I'm not choosing for this to be happening to me? Is that something that you experience, like with the clients that you work with, is to really get that sort of message through? What's the sort of way that we can put that into perspective, I suppose?
Of course. See, our behavior is a learned modality for us. Yeah, we have learned to be this way. Yeah, so whether we get frustrated because everybody is in lockdown or you can't go out, it's a learned behavior. Now, behavior is something you can always change. This is your inner world. You can always choose to change your inner world. Yeah, it's like when you're trying to fix something and it's not working out. The choice is that find another ways to make it work for you, or your choice is to either get frustrated out of it and leave it. Yeah, so that's why I say that it is always a choice. Yes, you may feel it for some time. I'm not saying that just brush it aside. This is what makes you human,
Mm-hmm.
not just brushing it aside or feeling guilty about feeling those feelings. Yeah, I'm completely against that, but learn to process it. Yeah, that
Yeah.
it's a choice. You can always choose to respond it properly, or fix it, reframe it, do something about it, or keep feeling frustrated if it is productive for you. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm sure it's not productive in any ways, because life is restricted here. So your physical mobility is restricted here. You can't go out, you can't do many things. So but you can do so many things at home. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so it's just about changing that mindset about it,
Yeah.
that you have a choice to feel either frustrated or learn to do something about it. So what is it, something that will not make you frustrated? Think about it. So that's again another
Mm-hmm.
reframe, that if you're feeling frustrated about something, there would be three things that you can do to not feel frustrated. Yeah,
Yes.
so that's another way to kind of think about it. Now, let's just focus on why reframe, why reframe and why reframe really work. Now there is a whole science about this, and we begin with saying that it's a movie that we play in the mind. Frame is just a movie or a photo, and it has the sound, the words, the language, the images, the color. I mean, so many those modalities are there in that. Now, but there is a whole lot of science which is really under the skin, actually under the skin, and it's actually in our epigenetics. Now, there is a, I find it very difficult to pronounce that. It's a tongue twister for me because I'm not a Russian. It is some Russian uh, biologist, and I'll put the name somewhere later,
Yeah.
and also the work of Dr. Bruce Lipton.
Mm-hmm.
They have done extensive work in this epigenetics, and what they have found is that everything comes down to your belief,
Mm-hmm.
your belief system.
Yeah.
And not only that, but what is really important is that we have out of our 100% 100% DNA, or our what do you call it?
Nature.
Just a moment, yeah. Just a moment, yeah.
So maybe just while take that moment, I'm quite keen. So I I encountered Dr. Bruce Lipton about 2 years ago now, and I listened to audiobooks and had to keep pulling the car over to let this information sink in. So people that are kind of listening in at the moment, are you familiar with this term epigenetics? I think it's a whole topic on itself that we can kind of we could take a day to go through for sure. But just intrigued, just on that topic, does people kind of aware of what epigenetics are? Have they heard of it? Have they heard of sort of some of the scholars like Bruce Lipton, Joe Dispenza as well? Just keen to hear, then we can continue. Just a little poll.
Yeah, wonderful. I mean, epigenetics is defined as something which is beyond your genetics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the simple definition of it. Now, before we just go ahead, I just need to interrupt this here. You know, it's homeschooling, and somebody needs something from my this room. So
Yeah.
just give me a second. If you need to pause it, please pause it. Yeah,
No
I'll
worries.
be there in few seconds. Sorry about
No
that.
worries. No problem. I will. This down. So yeah, Auntie's going to be back in a second. She is just finding some. This is real life, guys. So I'm having to be quite flexible. I've had so many conference calls. If I have a conference call at around 6 p.m. and Helen and Leanne can tell you this, we usually catch up at that time. We'll have the door like rattling outside just before bath time, and the kids like little puppies trying to get into the door, and yeah, to derail me from my conversations. So, yeah, I think this is definitely something. And it's funny, I've seen lots of these online videos of people's like Zoom chats going off piste. So I think Artie's back. You back, Artie? Let's see. There you are.
Hi, sorry, I just took a small break. Yeah.
Little pause. We're back now.
Wonderful. So yeah, we were talking about epigenetics, and epigenetics, as I said, is just simply as something which is beyond genetics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, as per the science and Dr. Bruce Lipton and other, biophysicists and molecular biologists, only 10% of our DNA is coded to produce life building proteins. So these proteins do thousands of different things in our body. 90% of our DNA was supposed to be, or it was called as junk DNA.
Okay.
So they started researching on this junk, so-called junk DNA, that it doesn't do anything, it doesn't build any proteins. So what does it really do? And when they started focusing on this junk DNA, they realized that it holds the key to our language. Our language and the DNA have similar codes, to each other.
Yeah.
So, and it is also coded in the same as the syntax of a language, or the semantic of the words that we use, and the rules of grammar. So just imagine that, where does our language gets recorded? I mean, if you open up our body, you cannot see where it's coded, and
Yeah.
they're exactly the keys, that's where it gets coded, all our language that we learn, and the meaning of it. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the reason reframing is something that goes all the way down to your DNA coding. Yeah. So it's not just simply as somebody is just changing your behavior, or just using different words or something like that, but it has a meaning in our DNA. And that's why things start to begin changing for ourselves when we change from one word to another word. Now, there are other things about epigenetics, which is like, it represents our inner structure. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
when we use certain words, we say, oh, some people are just negative, some people are always going to that mindset they're always negative about the outcome and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. So
Yeah.
what does it say? That their experiences that they had in their life, their acquired experiences in their life, given them that language, that mindset, that attitude, and that behavior of that negativity and all the whole 9 yards about it. So
Yeah.
this is where it becomes very important for us to understand that it goes long way, because this is all an acquired information, acquired experiences, and acquired skills that we have.
Yeah.
Now, the other aspect why we need to really work on ourselves in terms of the language that we use, the words we use, and reframe it, is because of the law of attraction. What we put focus on gets realized.
Mhm.
For example, if you want to go to, say, Dubai Mall, it's a wonderful idea, yeah, to go to be able to go to Dubai Mall. Yeah. So you don't start going to Mall of the Emirates. You will go to, Dubai Mall, because it's the law of attraction. That's where you want to go, and your body, your car, your mind will take you there,
Mhm.
because you just want to go there. So it is as simple as that. Now, law of attraction has a underlining quantum physics under it. So quantum physics is nothing but it's all about that everything is connected. Everything is connected energetically, which we can't see.
Yeah.
And because we can't see, our senses cannot see it, we think that it's not connected, but it is connected. So when we make a change in one corner of the world, or that's the reason prayer works.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the reason our meditation works, or hypnosis works, or NLP works, or affirmation works. So all these reasons, whether it's epigenetics, whether it's your language and language pattern and semantics and syntax, or it is law of attraction or quantum physics, is everything put together. It's all coded in our DNA, and it works because everything is connected energetically,
Yeah.
and it makes impact on us. So this is a science behind any transformation work that we do, including the reframing, because reframing is all about language patterns, the words that we use, and the meanings that we attach to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So this is the whole science about it. Now I'll just kind of want to give you an example of a simple reframe. Say somebody says that, I want to go to Bali. Yeah, I mean, somebody wants to go to Bali. So you don't end up saying that I don't want to go to Philippines. You don't say that. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you focus on what you want. Yeah, we are very clear about what we want when we want to go somewhere. But when we want something in our life which is not visible, we get entangled in a lot of negativity about it.
Mhm.
When we want to go to Bali, we simply say, oh, I want to go to Bali for my holidays. Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't want to say I don't want to go to Philippines, or I don't want to go this place or that place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now if we adapt the same mindset, yeah, it is silly, but
It,
yeah, it is like
it
that.
just makes so much. It makes so much sense. And I'm just kind of like I'm chuckling to myself because I think it's like, yeah, light bulb.
Exactly, yeah. So uh it's like, if we keep the same mindset about it when we want to do something in life, or say I don't want to be anxious, rather than, we can say simply said, I want to be calm. Yeah, simple reframe.
Yeah.
So when you begin to focus on what you want and what you don't want, it simply shifts your mindset. And remember, every time it shifts your focus, it is changing something in your DNA, it is changing something in your coding, in your body as well. Yeah, so always remember that every word has an impact on yourself.
Mhm.
Now, this is also our inner dialogue, how we talk to ourselves, how we kind of start from one thought to another thought, and we call it as a thought loop. It kind of, we start with something and we end up at the end of the world,
Yeah.
kind of thought. It happens with me also, sometimes, I start thinking, but then I know how to kind of stop myself and say, okay, you've done your job, you have used your creativity.
Yeah. Stop that.
So it kind of goes on that way. Okay, so I'll say give you a few examples of reframe, how this reframes can work for you. So if somebody wants to kind of note down it right now, they can note down, can take a pencil and paper and note down, or record it, or whatever it suits them, and then we'll do one exercise. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great. Somebody's asking for another example, please. I'm just trying to, Rosanna, if you want to just tell us what you want to get another example of. I think there's a little bit of a delay between this call and where we are now and where we're on the group. So I just want to make
Okay.
sure that.
Okay.
So Rosanna, if you can just be sort of clear in what you need another example of, then we can make sure we include that there. So maybe Artie, if you want to sort of start with the examples for the reframing, and then we can include this question as well where we go.
Wonderful. Yeah, we can do that. And later on, we'll take whatever that comes. Okay, wonderful. Now, see, there is a now the first example is that, change the frame and change the meaning. For example, from focusing pain to discomfort. Yeah, it just changes the meaning. Discomfort is more comfortable, more suitable, more tapered down word. It is a
Yeah.
simple, we call it the meaning reframe. Yeah. Now, but there is another thing called content reframe, that how you can just change the content of what's going on. So another example is anxious mind versus calm mind. Yeah, simply, my mind is calm. When you start to begin that, to kind of realize it, start telling this to yourself as an affirmation.
Yeah.
And remember that whenever we use the language, always remember that it's making changes in your DNA.
Yeah.
For somebody who says that I am anxious about my future, yeah, versus I would like to focus on what I can do about my future.
Yeah.
Because see, anxiety is a state of focused mind. Yeah, anxiety is like when you just focus on one thing at a time, because you just want to get it done. You want to kind of focus on how you can make it better. So anxiety is good in many ways. And for example, when you have to make a presentation next day, you are anxious about it. You're focused on it. You will just filter out the rest of the world out, and you will focus on that.
Yeah.
So it's your ability to focus. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when it comes out of that, your ability to focus, just use this focus. So what you are capable of focusing, so now you can reframe it as, I would like to focus on what I can do about my future.
Mhm.
Yeah, because worrying is a waste of your imagination. Now another reframe would be, many people, because they are doing the work from home, things are messy for them. Some people are involved in getting rid of their staff. They will have to let them go. They have to tell them that there is a salary cut or pay cut, or it's completely gone, or things like that. So that can be very distressing for many people, and many people are doing it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So people say, oh, I'm just kind of clearing this mess. Yeah, people can say, oh, I'm just clearing the mess. It's so messy, things are just messy. I'm just managing many multiple offices and things like that. So rather than saying that, can you say that I'm putting things in order?
Yeah.
Yeah. So focusing on the mess rather than clear, clearing the focus. You are putting things in order. It completely
Yeah.
changes meaning, because every action that you're doing in order to clear that mess, what exactly you're doing is to put things in order, isn't it? Yeah. So that's how you can, one way to kind of reframe your mind. uh, when you say that, oh, I'm kind of putting things in order, it also means that you have an organizational skills. So think of that. Yeah. Now another example is, locked up in this situation is very difficult. Ah, the big one, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it also, I mean, this also means is that your whole family is around, kids are around, things are messy in the house, things in not in order. Now in this situation, it can get claustrophobic, as you were telling me. Now think of a situation where all the family members were at different places and still there was a lockdown.
Mm.
Yeah, you would all be, yes, your house will be yours, but think of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they are all in different places. So, another way to think is that good, at least you're together.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I know families who are apart in this situation across the world, and having difficulties, because you don't know when things will open, and people can be together again.
Yeah.
Yeah. uh, Another one is, when I am not in control, I feel anxious. Versus, I can clearly sense, feel, see, hear what will happen tomorrow.
Mm.
Yeah. You may not think about 1 week down the line, or 1 month down the line what will happen in your life or in the life outside or in the office, but you can at least think, feel, see something that will happen tomorrow. So
Yeah.
chunk it down to what you can do right now and what you can do tomorrow. It will help you calm your nerves about things that are going on in your world.
Yeah, for sure.
Again, this situation is, I'm too stressed, because you're managing just so many things from home. Or you can say, oh, my partner is very dominating, because now you are in situation like that. Versus, I realize that I need to learn how to deal with stress,
Mhm.
because as I say, these are all acquired skills. When you're feeling stressed about something, that means you don't have that skills. Don't punish yourself for not having that skills. Yeah,
Yeah.
just learn it, how to manage it, how to manage things. And when you do that, it's just the it will just open the door to having a new life skills. Yeah.
Right.
Or somebody who's dominating, when you are in a situation like that. So think about somebody who likes to be in charge. Yeah. Somebody's taking the charge of everything. Why not? Give. Yeah. So let
Right.
somebody be happy with their skills. Yeah. Or there is too much uncertainty about everything. Yeah.
Mhm.
Versus, let's focus on what is in my control.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's
So,
even when you're saying the two things, it kind of, you could even like feel the sort of physical weight of, you know, the first sort of way of saying things, and then after
hmm.
the frame, it kind of feels like a bit lighter, a bit easier, a bit kind of, you know, better to kind of deal with. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, because these words will have impact on, we have these two different nervous system, sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system.
Mhm.
So it immediately changes your focus from one to the another,
Yeah.
which is sympathetic nervous system is all about relaxation and all of that. So these words will have impact on that one.
Yeah. Good.
Um, Even in this situation, there are people who may be procrastinating all the time. Yeah, so you can say, I procrastinate all the time. Okay, procrastinating is a great skills, isn't it? Can you procrastinate eating your dessert by the evening or some other time? Yeah, or extra cup of whatever things that you are eating, can you delay it? Yeah. So use your skills and what you are capable of doing. Yeah, in some other context, because these are always useful behavior. Let me tell you, all these behavior that we have, they're always useful in some way or the other. Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you are good at procrastinating, use it to procrastinate the amount of food you're eating at one point of time, or the cravings. You want to binge on something because you're just at home. I just the other day I read somewhere on social media that I opened my fridge, and my fridge told that, what the heck you want anymore now. So I loved it. So so you just use your skills to do what you want to do. It's a great skills that you can use it. uh I wish I did not focus on what could go wrong. Yeah. I mean, because this is again the chain of loop of what can go all wrong. And people think that, oh, it's not useful, but it's a useful skills. People
Mhm.
who can pick up the wrong things, they are good at picking out mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
begin with yourself. What things went wrong in your life, and begin to change from there. Yeah, it's a good skill. Yeah. But again, all of it needs to come from the right perspective of the mind and not the negative one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now it's boring, isn't it? People doing the same thing, same house, same corners, it gets boring. I agree to that. Evening time, it's boring because you have done whatever you need to do in the daytime. Yeah, you finished it, you follow a schedule, and you did it. So it can get boring, and you keep telling, oh, it's boring, it's boring, it's boring. There's how much TV also you can watch, so you can, people use that this is a boring period of their life. So what does that boring mean to somebody is that we as human being are looking for creativity in the life. Yeah. So when you're bored, it just means the mind is looking for some creativity to amuse itself. Yeah, the mind is working. Mind is working at extraordinary speed all the time. Yeah. So how you can use your time to do something creative? Simple as that. That's what the mind is looking for when you start to feel bored about something. Yeah.
I like
And
that.
many times when you are bored, you don't have to start engaging in doing things. Allow your mind to get bored.
Yeah.
Yeah, because with that boredom, it will slow down, it will slow its pace, it will slow its rhythm, and it will change your brain wave and all of that. I don't want to go into all of that. It'll say, oh, the doctor comes here.
Yeah.
Okay, now simple focus, reframe will be I don't want against I want. Focus on what you want rather than I don't want. I don't want this, I don't want that. I just don't want this lockdown anymore. From that to what I want. Yeah. But there are lots of financial worries. People are worried about money, how people have small businesses here, or their pay is cut, or their salary is completely stopped. They have a job, but it's not paying them anymore.
Yeah.
So yes, it is a reality for all of us. But again, where you will put focus is what gets realized. So people will say, "How will I pay my bills?
Mm.
How will I do this? How will I feed my family?" All that. So you can start begin to say that I will cut down on certain expenses and pay the bills. Yeah, you can anyway, because there is no avenue to spend unless you are just buying things online. So think about your expenses, where you are going to put your money, and you begin to pay the bills, because it's going to be the most important things in this time.
Yeah.
And think about how will you feel, just kind of taking a deep breath, and what will it be like paying the bills. Simple, just changing your mindset about it, that how good it feels just to cut down the expenses and pay what is the most critical important part of it. Yeah.
Very good advice.
Now the biggest part is reintegrating. I mean, how can we go about, because it seems that by next week or something few things will open up. So how do we go back to that? Yeah. Now let me tell you something. I trust people. I have tremendous belief in people's ability to adjust, rebound in their life. Yeah. We all have ingenuine capacity to learn, shift, and transform ourselves. So we are not handicapped by all of that, but just a
Mhm.
bit shift in our thinking may also help a lot. Yeah, that how will I readjust to the life back now, when things open up. Yeah, even if it opens in phases. Yeah. And people say, oh, I'm afraid how will my life will be post lockdown. So you can begin to say that I learned few things in this lockdown. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it that you learned? Focus on that. Yeah. I will implement for life improvement something that has to change. This was not just a mere experience of some epidemic or pandemic. This is life learning. So what did you learn out of it? Focus on that one. I mean, we were going to the restaurants and the bars and the clubs and the lounges and the meetings and all that. We have lived that almost for a month, without all of that for a month and a half. We are capable of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your learning? How you can begin to slow down and focus on your things, you know?
Yeah.
So what is it that you're going to implement in your life? Or I'll reflect on few things that will change my life. Yeah. Post this lockdown, how will you change it? Yeah. Or it will be easy for me to just readjust myself.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep telling this to yourself. Yeah. Because as I said, I believe in human potential. Yeah, that's the reason my company's name is Potential Unlimited. Yeah, because we have this
Yeah.
potential to really just do many things. Yeah, we are not handicapped, like that.
Yeah.
Okay, now there are people who have lost jobs. It's a very unnerving, uncomfortable reality for them. Yeah. Now, you can begin to tell yourself that I will get a job, yeah, and then think about what few things that you can do to find another job. Yeah, rather than getting stuck at I don't have a job, to focus on what three things you can do about to get another job. Yeah, it's a reality. It's unfortunate reality, and it can be boggling. It can be stressful. I won't deny that aspect of it. Yeah, reach out to people, talk to your friends. Don't just let yourself just be in one corner of the house. Reach out to your friends, talk to them. They'll help you. Talking out to your loved ones, it will definitely help you in this times where things are uncertain for people like who have completely kind of lost the job or the business. Yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing you can do is that just simply taking your hand, the dominant hand. I'm lefty, so I'll pick up my left hand. Yeah, that you just begin to rub it together and just tell yourself that I've got this. Yeah, whenever you start to feel overwhelmed about something, just keep telling yourself that I've got this. Yeah, I've got this. Taking deep breaths and keeping yourself, that I've got this, it is always helpful. So deal with it at that time, because what you can do is to learn to respond to your situations in life. Yeah. One other thing is that there are many people who have fear of getting infection, because you get paranoid about the touch and who came home for home delivery, or you went down to pick up few things, or you went out to pick up things, and mind can go to those lines that I may get infected, even if you have taken all the precautions and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can begin to say that my immunity is doing well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm taking all the precautions to avoid infection. Yeah, you can just simple few change of your words, and it will have impact on your nervous system. Yeah. So this is a beautiful way of just changing the way you feel about something and the way you think about something. This is our structure in the way our mind really works, mind and body works. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I can relate to like 99.9 of those things as well. At some points had those thoughts, and very kind of typical of where we're up to now. I liked what you said also about chunking it down. We someone in the comments has mentioned the same. I think we are in this sort of very big picture moment at the moment. Very troubled times, and that's kind of what our attention is seeming to kind of go to. And again, we're getting bombarded with these messages and actually breaking it down into a more manageable. And for sure, we can kind of see tomorrow. We know that we'll wake up tomorrow morning and maybe we've got a loose plan of what the day will look like. Is it Thursday today?
Yeah.
Is it Thursday today? Thursday today. So we know it's going to be the
Thursday.
weekend. So I've had this trouble all week. So we know that it's going to be the weekend tomorrow, and actually, what could we do for ourselves better, on that day to kind of make ourselves feel good, And like I said, every one of those reframes, I think I felt the shift. I kind of felt the shift. So it's something that I think we can all take and practice. I think it was a really practical session. Um, so this will be available on the replay as well if anyone wants to kind of come back, who's watching as well, if they didn't take any notes, which will be really good to kind of dip back into. So Artie, do you want to give us any additional information on top of this?
Yeah, the cherry on the top, you know. I'm going to teach all of you, yes, one, you know, takeaway technique that you can do to, you know, get rid of the negativity that can come to you. It comes to me on a daily basis, but I need to kind of, you know, start clearing it. I'm a human being. I don't say that I'm achieved nirvana, you know. I'm okay having those human emotions, you know.
Yeah.
So let's just, you know, do this little exercise that will help you know, clear out and reframe, and you know, whatever that need you need to kind of, you know, really work. Very simple one, you know. And in NLP term, it's called as pattern interruption. You know, how you can just interrupt what is going on, which is not working out for you. Yeah. So take a deep breath and just close your eyes. And all the clutter of the day and the days together, just let it just go out with each and every breath out. When you feel that, you know, you are now concentrating or focusing only on the sound of my voice, just open your eyes and focus on the center of your screen. Yeah. And now just focus on your my hands. And as I begin to move my hands, taking a deep breath without moving your eyes, just allow yourself. Yeah, you can even follow this, what I'm doing. Yeah. And putting your hand in front of you like this. Yeah. And as I move, just move your hands as well. And allow all this negativity that you may be carrying it with you, just to kind of clear it up, you know, completely. Let it all kind of go out. Release it. It's not serving any purpose. Yeah. So just let it go out. But take a deep breath and slowly begin to kind of expand your vision without moving your eyes. Just focus on your
Frozen.
space right behind you.
Oh, you come back.
Yeah.
Sorry, it froze a little
And
bit.
as you begin to feel space, yeah, as you begin to feel this space, it just shifts and moves away all the clutter and the negativity. It just simply moves away. Yeah. Increasing your peripheral vision away from the clutter inside, releasing it, shifting it completely. Wonderful. Now just bring it back here together. And when you bring it back your hands, it has completely shifted to the positivity and the reframe, that whatever reframe that you wanted to work with, just keep that in mind. And how simply it can change that. And take a deep breath and simply close your eyes now. And I'm going to count from 5 down to 1. And with each breath that you take and the number that I count, you will simply go into some light trance. You can allow yourself to go there, or you can resist, but you know that that's not why you are here. So as I count each number, just allow yourself to go a little deeper, a little relaxed. 1, 5, 4, deeper and deeper. 3, 2, 1. All the way down, deeper, 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 relaxed. Take a deep breath and just focus on your beautiful creative mind that you have. You all have this beautiful creative mind that just pops up the solutions for us. Focus on that mind and let your creative mind generate 3 new behaviors to support your reframe. What are those 3 things that you will do? It could be just simple as just following a schedule, or it could be just simple as getting up at a particular period of time in the morning. or it can be anything that suits you, that is in your capability and skills to manage it, to generate it, to do it. Chunking it down, and let this new behavior now trickle down as energies from the top of your head to the tip of your toes, changing every cell, every atom of your being into this new behavior that is adapted in your life right away at this moment. And you realize that how your thinking has changed, how your feelings have changed, and how your behavior has changed, how you act, how you feel has completely changed from this moment onward. And every day, you just gets better and better. Wonderful. Now, when you're absolutely sure that all of these is accepted, just simply open your eyes with a smile on your face. I love your smile, Danny.
Ah,
Isn't it wonderful how quickly we can learn something?
feel ready to take on the world now.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much. That was such an awesome little session. I loved how practical, and then I loved that little exercise at the end. You know, you're one of our go-tos in this space, and I'm sure that we're going to be able to get you back. We'll reel you back in for another session soon, for sure, for sure.
Happy to be here, Thanks for this wonderful time. I always love to, talk about these things and love to see you
Yeah,
and
it's been
all
great
your
talking.
viewers on Facebook.
Yeah, it's been nice.
Thanks,
Thank
thanks for
you
joining
for
us.
being with us. And this video will be here. Come back to it. If you need a reminder, if you need anything specific, do reach out to us. Artie, where can we find you? So you mentioned Potential Unlimited is your company. Maybe in the comments you can leave a link to your how to reach out to you specifically as well.
Yeah, I can. I'm not able to write it there anything right now.
I can add it in as well. Here we go. There we go. I will copy it in. So yes, and you're doing your sessions at the moment online.
Yes, I'm doing all these sessions online, and it's working wonderful. I'm even doing it across the world, Canada, India, and Nigeria, Africa. I mean, it's
Wow,
like really working out very well. Things that I didn't know that will work is working out. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
says a lot. I've had that conversation numerous times this week. We boundaries are gone. Digital transformation has happened overnight. Kind of had to, and it's amazing now that you can help people wherever they are in the world. That's
Yeah.
the reframe, right?
Oh, yes.
Amazing.
Wonderful. So thanks. Nice to see you and see you sometime.
Take
And
care.
thank you all of you for joining.
Thank you
Bye.
everyone for joining. We'll see you all soon. Take care.